the story beyond 1001 Nights, unsung heroes of the Islamic Golden Age. Imagine a world where the brightest minds didn't gather in Silicon Valley's glass towers or inside secret labs in Tokyo, but in the bustling heart of Baghdad, the sunlit courtyards of Cordoba, and the vibrant libraries of Cairo, cities where ink flowed like rivers and curiosity was the currency that shaped entire civilizations. A world where innovation wasn't a luxury but a duty, where scholars, engineers, physicians, philosophers, astronomers, and poets came together in an intellectual symphony that rewrote humanity's understanding of science, medicine, mathematics, and culture. Yet, so many of these extraordinary figures remain invisible in mainstream history books, overshadowed by Eurocentric narratives that often erase or minimize their foundational contributions. What if I told you that much of what we celebrate today, optics, robotics, algebra, modern medicine, universities, maps, surgical tools, astronomy are deeply rooted in the brilliance of Muslim scholars from the Islamic Golden Age? Today we open the forgotten scrolls of this era, peeling back layers of neglect and historical bias to reveal a tapestry of discovery so breathtaking that it forces us to question everything we think we know about progress. Let us begin with Ibn al-Haytham, a name unfamiliar to many, despite being the father of optics and one of the earliest pioneers of the scientific method. Long before modern laboratories existed, he insisted on experimentation over blind theorizing, conducting meticulous tests on light, reflection, and vision, ultimately proving that we see because light enters the eye, not because the eye emits rays, a theory the Greeks incorrectly believed for centuries. His book, Kitab al-Manazir, revolutionized optics and directly inspired Renaissance figures such as Kepler and Galileo. Though Ibn al-Haytham's name is rarely mentioned alongside theirs, from optics we journey to engineering marvels and meet al-Jazari, the mechanical genius whose inventions make even 21st century engineers pause in awe. In a time without electricity, without 3D printing, without advanced metals or digital al-Jazari designed fully functioning water-powered clocks, automated machines, programmable devices, and even early humanoid robots. His book of knowledge of ingenious mechanical devices shows diagrams so detailed and mechanisms so precise that many of his machines can be recreated even today. He engineered the first crankshaft mechanism, essential for modern engine sound, built a robot band that played music on boats for royal guests, centuries before Europe imagined anything comparable. While many engineers today rely on digital models, al-Jazari relied solely on his hands, intuition, and mathematical brilliance, crafting devices with wood, copper, rope, gears, and gravity. His name rarely appears in engineering textbooks, but innovation in the Golden Age wasn't limited to men, nor confined to laboratories. It thrived in spiritual, cultural, and educational spaces too, embodied powerfully by Fatima al-Fihri, a woman whose vision reshaped global education. In the 9th century, long before Oxford and Cambridge opened their doors, Fatima founded Al-Qarawiyyin University in Fresno, recognized by UNESCO and Guinness World Records as the oldest continuously operating university in the world. She dedicated her inheritance not to personal luxury but to building a sanctuary of knowledge, where scholars from across continents, Muslim, Jewish, Christian, studied mathematics, astronomy, medicine, jurisprudence, and languages. Her institution became a beacon of learning that shaped countless generations and laid the foundation for the modern university system. Yet how often is her name mentioned when discussing the origins of higher education? These are just 3 individuals, but they represent thousands whose contributions built the intellectual backbone of the modern world. And yet, the Golden Age is often misunderstood, romanticized, or reduced to fairy tale imagery of silk carpets and magical lamps. The reality is far more profound. It was an era defined by relentless curiosity, cross-cultural collaboration, and a fierce commitment to truth. It was a place where Muslims translated ancient Greek, Persian, Indian, and Chinese texts, not just preserving them, but expanding upon them, challenging them, correcting them, elevating them. When Europe was in its dark ages and much knowledge was lost or suppressed, Muslim scholars became the custodians of human civilization, ensuring that no useful idea was forgotten. They built libraries with millions of books, observatories where stars were mapped with astonishing accuracy, hospitals that provided free medical treatment to all people regardless of background, and schools where knowledge was accessible, not guarded behind elitist doors. And these achievements weren't isolated. They were born from a worldview rooted in the Quranic command to reflect, observe, and seek knowledge. Are those who know equal to those who do not know? And in the creation of the heavens and the earth are signs for people of understanding. But why in our 2025 world do these stories matter? Because they challenge the incomplete narrative many of us grew up with, one that reduces history to a linear path centered on Western figures, while minimizing the many other civilizations that propelled humanity forward. Recognizing the architects of the Islamic Golden Age is not only about setting the historical record straight, about reclaiming stolen inspiration. When young people from the Muslim world, Africa, Asia, or anywhere else learn the truth that people who looked like them, spoke their languages, shared their cultures, or practiced their faith once led the world in science, medicine, and innovation, begin to see themselves as capable of greatness too. These forgotten heroes remind us that knowledge thrives when curiosity is free, when cultures collaborate instead of compete, and when society values thinkers as much as warriors. Today, we desperately need this mindset. In a world divided by politics and plagued by misinformation, these scholars show us what it means to seek truth with humility. In an age overwhelmed by technological anxiety, they remind us that innovation is not just about machines, it's about purpose, ethics, and uplifting humanity. Their legacies teach us that progress doesn't belong to one civilization, one race, or one era. It belongs to everyone willing to ask why and what if. So as we uncover these stories, we must ask ourselves, what other extraordinary contributions have been erased or forgotten? How many other innovators remain lost in the shadows of history? And most importantly, what responsibilities do we carry now in this century of unprecedented knowledge and opportunity? If the scholars of Baghdad could build observatories without electricity, if the engineers of Al-Andalus could design machines with nothing but belief and mathematics, if Fatima al-Fihri could create a global university in an age before computers or corporations, then what excuse do we have today? The courage, persistence, and imagination challenge us to rise higher, dream bigger, and learn endlessly. So as you watch this video and rediscover your history, let this be more than a lesson, let it be a spark. Explore deeper, ask harder questions, read their books, study their achievements, share their stories. Because the Golden Age is not just a chapter of the past, it is a blueprint for the future. And if you're ready to continue this journey of rediscovery, to uncover more hidden truths and forgotten geniuses, to reclaim the brilliance that shaped our world from Baghdad to Cordoba and beyond, then do not stop here. Subscribe, follow, comment, and tell us